If you've been hearing people talk about Claude Cowork and wondering what the big deal is, here's a simple version. This is where Claude starts feeling less like a chatbot and more like an actual assistant that can work through multi-step tasks for you. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to download the Claude desktop app, install it, turn on a couple of important settings, and run your first Cowork task. Let's get into it. First, go to the Claude download page and grab the version for your computer. If you're already logged into Claude, all you have to do is look on the bottom left next to your name and there's going to be a little download button. If you click on that, it'll take you to the download page. If you're not there, just go to claude.ai/downloads and I'll have a link in the description if you need it. Here, you'll only see the version for your PC, so I'm only seeing the Mac because I'm on a Mac, but if you're on a PC, on Windows, you should see the Windows version here. This is also where you would download the mobile app, the Chrome extension, and a couple of other Claude extensions if you need them. But for our purposes, we're only going to download the Mac version, so go ahead and click on that. Then head over to your downloads folder and run it. On a Mac, all you really need to do to install it is to drag the Claude icon from the left into the applications folder on the right. Once the installer finishes, open up the app and sign into your Claude account. Go ahead and click on Get Started. I actually used a Google sign-in to sign up for my Claude account, so all I have to do is click on here. Chrome is going to ask you if you want to continue. Go ahead and continue. And then just follow through with your Google sign-in. And that's it. Now you're in Claude. A couple of things to note is that the first thing you'll see is the shortcuts. So here you can actually set some shortcuts to make it a little bit easier to access Claude. For example, on a Mac, you're able to press the Option button twice to bring up a Claude chat. You're able to also have it in your taskbar in the top right, and you can set it so that when you tap on the caps lock button on your keyboard, it automatically starts a dictation, so you can just simply talk to Claude. I'm going to go ahead and leave these three on and hit continue. That's it. Now you're inside of the Claude app on your computer. Once you're in, the first thing you want to check is whether you actually see the Cowork tab. If you see Chat and Cowork, you're good. Cowork is tied to a paid Claude plan, and it only works on the desktop app. Now, go ahead and click on the Cowork tab, and this is the mode where you stop just chatting with it and start handing Claude a job. Instead of asking one question at a time, you can give it a task, let it build a plan, and have it work through steps for you. Before you run your first task, there's a couple settings I want you to look at first. Open up the settings by clicking on your name and clicking on Settings. Then go down to Cowork. The first thing that I recommend setting up is the global instructions. This is where you can tell Claude how you like it to work across every Cowork session. For example, you could tell it to keep outputs concise, use a friendly professional tone, and give you finished deliverables instead of just ideas. Here I've given it some basic ideas, so if you want to take this prompt, just feel free to pause the video and take what I've already given it. Once you're done, hit save, and you're good to go. The second thing to pay attention to is access. Cowork can actually work with files and connected apps, so make sure you're giving it only access to the folders and tools you actually want it to use. The way you do that is by clicking on Work in a folder. I've already given it access to a single folder, but you can choose a different folder if you'd like, and Claude Cowork will only work in that folder. You can also give it access to different apps and different connectors. The way you do that is you click on the plus sign, you click on Connectors, and Manage Connectors. Here you can manage what access you've given it, you can revoke access, or you can add different connectors depending on what you want Cowork to do. Now let's run your first task. For your first Cowork task, keep it simple and useful. A great starter task is look through this folder of documents, summarize the key takeaways, and create a clean one-page brief. I'm going to point Claude to this folder. Inside of my downloads, I have this folder with a bunch of transcripts. So I'm going to give it access to that. This is where you can tell Cowork what type of access you're giving it, to always allow access to this folder or to just allow it for this one task. I'm going to always allow because I'm going to keep working in this folder. So I'm going to click on always allow. So now you'll see down here, it has the name of the folder, which you've already given it access to. Now you just give it some instructions. Once you have the instructions typed up, just hit let's go. Now here, Claude is actually going to come up with a plan of action. It's going to come up with some tasks that it's going to perform, and it's going to show you as it performs each of the tasks. This might take a minute depending on how many documents you're actually having it handle. Sometimes, depending on the complexity of the task, Claude might come up and show you the plan before it actually executes, asking you to approve it. Just give it a quick look, answer any questions it may have, then once you approve it, it'll go out and it'll run it. And that's it. Now it looked through all the documents, it read them all, and it gave me a one-page summarization of all of them. Now, if you notice, The majority of my files have very generic names, so I'm going to show you how to use Cowork to look through the content of the actual document and rename it accordingly. Now, this one's a little bit more involved, so it might actually ask me for permission before it executes, but let's just see what happens. Now I'm going to pull up the folder here so that you can actually see Cowork actually renaming all of these documents on the fly. That's it. If you blink, you missed it. Cowork went through all of the documents and renamed them accordingly, depending on the contents of the actual podcast episodes where they came from. Sometimes some of these tasks might take a little bit longer, so it's okay to leave the app, do something else, or even start a new task and let that one run in the background. When the task finishes, open the results and see how it did. If it's close but not perfect, that's normal. This is where you keep working with it. You can tell it to rename it in a different format. You can tell it to organize it into folders depending on the topics. It's super powerful, and you can see how this can scale very quickly to more and more complex tasks. You can even give it multiple steps in one task, and it'll just go out there and do it. And that's it. You've downloaded Claude Desktop, installed it, checked the important settings, and you ran your first Cowork task. That's the best way to learn this tool. Just give it one useful job and watch how it works, and then build from there. If this helped you, get subscribed, because in the next video, I'm going to show you the top 7 use cases for Claude Cowork so you can see how this really gets useful in the real world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.